The UK has a massive advantage over the EU when it comes to securing deals with the rest of the world after Brexit, because English is spoken by business leaders everywhere, an economist has said. And despite former European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker's apparent disdain, Mark Littlewood, Director General of the Institute for Economic Affairs, said English would only become more important in the years to come. Mr. Littlewood was speaking at the end of a week which saw UK negotiator David Frost meet with EU counterpart, and Frenchman, Michel Barnier for further talks in Brussels aimed at thrashing out a trade deal. However, despite Mr. Juncker's 2017 description of English as less important than it was, Mr. Littlewood said the reverse was the case, and suggested its common usage across the globe offers Boris Johnson a considerable advantage in tying up agreements with other countries. Mr. Littlewood told Express.co.uk, "English is increasingly the global language of commerce. That irritates the European Union somewhat, and it certainly irritates the French. The European Union has got an interesting question facing it. Does it remain largely bilingual, despite the fact that the only native English speakers will be the very small Republic of Ireland? Or does it sort of put two fingers up to the English-speaking world and say no, we're going to do everything in French? I think what they do is very introspective and inward-looking." Looking further afield, Mr. Littlewood said, "The use of the English language in other parts of the world is growing all the time, in India for example. We have the enormous benefit, the Americans and ourselves, of speaking the same language. So I don't think that English is going to diminish as the global language of commerce." With respect to Mr. Juncker's remark 3 years ago, he added, "It might diminish in terms of the number of translators you have sitting in the EU bureaucracy, but that's a rather different point to the one Jean-Claude Juncker might be making. In terms of getting real business done around real negotiating tables, I think English is going to become a more important and more common language. In fact, you can probably get by only speaking English, and that might not have been the case 30 or 40 years ago. Those trends are our friends."